the fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia. Munson here with the Expats Portugal. Good Morning Portugal live stream. And I'm very excited this morning. We have some mooning to come from Owen Lloyd-Martin, who is, of course, limbering up in the amazing Austin Brothers studios and will be live from Al-Viagra after 9 o'clock with the blackening spices. It sounds like the blackening spices of doom. But no, a joyous event at 9 o'clock as we, I'm not sure if we're grilling, baking or frying fish, but the blackening spices are the clue. We're frying. He's waving his pan at me. In the green room, not the green room, actually in the very kitchen that you've become accustomed to over these last few months. So it's superb to see the Austin brothers and Owen getting ready to cook live on the Good Morning Portugal show after 9 o'clock this morning. So let's check in and see how everybody's doing this morning, shall we? And I'm just going to say, still setting my levels. We've had an interesting morning so far. Well, an interesting evening. I have some difficult and sad news to share with you that Victoria got robbed. Our dear friend Victoria, a member of our community, top Gumper Victoria, and she got robbed in Praia de Rocha last night. But we can help, okay? The message on Facebook was robbed in Praia de Rocha on the promenade in front of the Oriental Hotel. WTF. That's Victoria. Absolutely right, though. He got all my ID, bank cards, residency card, credit cards, and cash. Went to the police station and told me to come back tomorrow at 4 p.m. So in the meantime, Victoria is pretty much stuck for cash. But we can help, okay? And I've already put in to the chat, into the comments there, a PayPal address. What we've done, because if we send money to Victoria's bank account, she's not going to be able to draw it out anyway. So what we've done, we know that our dear mate Frank is down there on that yard down there as well in the neighborhood. So if we send some PayPal donations, have a bit of a whip round this morning for Victoria and send some donations to devtam01@gmail.com. If everyone just puts in a tenner or something, 10 or 20, we can keep Victoria fed until she gets all her bank cards back. The least we can do for a fellow Gumpo who's been robbed in the Algarve. So terrible news. But I'm sure us Gumpers can come to the positive assistance of Victoria this morning. Okay, so I'll mention that from time to time throughout the show. If you want to send a tenner over there, Frank will take care of it. He won't spend it all on booze. Well, we don't think so. We might spend some of it on booze, but that's fair enough, innit? That's his handling fee. But we'll have a bit of a whip round for Victoria this morning, and Frank and Rachel, I should say, can pass that on to Victoria. And the questions are coming in, quite rightly so. How is Victoria personally? I should have said, shouldn't I? She's well, apart from the shock, I believe. Not harmed or any injuries, I hope. I think that is the case, and she may well be with us and speak up and let you know that in the chat this morning. So let's see what we can do. If everyone here puts in a tenner, she'll be all right for a little while, won't she? And I think we should be able to assist as well with the other side of things, getting all those documents back, which I think, yes, the community help here. This is where this community comes into its own. Okay, so Thunder Duck's here this morning. Bon dia alegria Gumpers, day 260. Sorry to giggle. It's the way you tell them, Thunder. Still wearing a mask for behaviour cameras. You see, they do have there. You wonder why people are driving around in their own car with a mask on. It's to avoid the behaviour cameras, apparently. And a Stephen Wright of the day. I went down a street to the 24-hour grocery. When I got there, the guy was locking the front door. I said, "Hey, the sign says you're open 24 hours. He said, "Yes, but not in a row." Well, hey, Gumper. Oh, excellent. Very good. You, Prof, how are you this morning? Got up, made porridge, examined rash. That's our life, isn't it? Living the dream. Get up, make the porridge, and examine the rash. Put a bit of cream on after making an assessment. Thank you very much, Prof. Bom dia, estou me sentindo velho e cansado sem o sol e meus ossos. So he's tired of not having any sun on his bones, but that's going to be righted soon, isn't it? I hope you say, aren't we going to be seeing you soon? Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz carta. Well done, James. Happy Humpty Gumpty Hump Day. That's a nice way. That sounds like somebody from the Gumper community walking down the street, doesn't it? Maybe with their achy knee or dodgy hip. Humpty hump day. Morning to you as well. Bom dia. Today in Portuguese history, 1759, the Marquis de Pombal seizes all assets of the Jesuit order. Yes, who doesn't like to have their assets seized first thing in the morning? Not the Jesuits. And where did I see a Marquis de Pombal? Oh, and I've got a Zé Pavino picture to share with you. I'm not all over it, as they say this morning. I have some things to to share with you that are not prepared just yet, but we'll get there. We've got 90 minutes to sort this out, haven't we? Oh, I can give you a weather report it's stay where you are, basically. Oh, what's that fluff on me nice milk tray man jumper there? Let's get that out of the shot. It is fluff, don't worry. Yeah, so I've been out with the dogs this morning, and the weather report from out there is stay where you are. It's a cold morning, chilly. Actually, let's have a quick look at that weather page of ours, shall we, and see what is being said there. And let's see how much longer we have to wait for that sun to be on our bones there. Hey, Prof. I'm going to find out for you right now. So I'm bringing it onto the screen for you too. And we've got an early morning mooning moment as well. Loving all the moon pictures. And I'm sure everyone around Portugal has been enjoying that. Well, not just Portugal. Other places have the moon as well, of course, don't they? But it's been very nice for moon watching. Mother's here, as you know. Oh, she's got a question. We might be able to organise that a bit later on. She had a question for you. And we might be able to do that. She might send in her own video. If she doesn't, I'll ask you myself on her behalf. But we should get her on while she's staying with us. She's a right character, is my mother. And I'm sure you'll enjoy winding me up via her. Let's see how that goes, shall we, in the next few days. So look, sunny around the place. So it is bright, but it is chilly as well. We got 15 degrees the high in the capital, 59 in the Fahrenheit, and it's shaping up for a very nice week. So the cloudiness is on its way out. I think the sun that's coming today is going to burn away the cloud and leave us. Look at that. That's amazing. That needs a screenshot. Apart from a bit of a cloudy day today and on Saturday down in the south, it's a full house of sunshine. Sorry to be showing this to you if you're elsewhere in the world needing your bones warmed up. We'll do our best to do it on your behalf. A bit of vicarious bone warming. Oh, what say, missus? So Lisbon, Porto, Coimbra, all sunny days ahead for a whole week. How about that? Bit of cloud today in Faro, but the high will be 14 there. So yeah, not hot, but very bright here in Portugal. Similarly in Aveiro, Beja, a bit of a cloudy day today. Braga, sunshine all the way. Castelo Branco, sunshine all the way. Love being able to share this with you. This is all about the 300 days of sunshine here in Portugal. May not be hot, but it is bright with that beautiful Portuguese blue sky. Evra, Leiria. Leiria has a slight besmirching of cloud on Saturday, but still will be a very pleasant 14 degrees and bright outside. Santarém, full house. Viseu, full house. Bragança, full house. Guarda, full house of brightness. Porto Alegre, Setúbal. Is this just the default setting and the weathermen have had a couple of days off? This is remarkable. Viana do Castelo, full house of brightness. The full house of brightness to go with your blackening spices of doom. Villarreal, full house, but not the Azores. Cloudy and a bit of rain over there, and Madeira similarly too. But only to be expected out there in the Atlantic, right? But that's an amazing weather picture. Exactly the sort of thing we like to share with you from here in Portugal on the Good Morning Portugal show, putting the good into Good Morning Portugal this morning. So the assets were seized of the Jesuits. I need to look more into that. And the Today in Portuguese History, I am putting those on the show notes because that builds and builds. And I wish I'd done it earlier. But Prof, thank you for those prompts. And I cut and paste them into coffee.com/GMP, or just go to goodmorningportugal.com, and I'll be putting those in there so that you can learn more and more about Portuguese history and culture. According to the historians, the Jesuits' independence, power, wealth, control of education, and ties to Rome made the Jesuits obvious targets for Pombal's brand of extreme regalism. Extreme regalism. What an excellent turn of phrase that is. I think over in Al-Viagra, the amazing Austin Brothers Studios, I think we might just pop in there very quickly. Wave to me if you're limbering up to say something, gentlemen. Did you want to speak at the moment? No, they don't want to speak. They're waving. Oh, they're doing a puppet show. That's sweet. Okay, yeah, the Jesuits were 5, 4. Jerry Anderson. What? Get the rolls, Parker. Okay, so the Jesuits are booted out. And I need to find out more about that and the power of the Jesuits until the Marquis de Pombal comes along and seizes their assets. 1759. And I still can't think where I saw his. Where have I been just recently? And where did I see a Marquis de Pombal statue? I guess they're everywhere. I really cannot remember where I saw it. Good morning, everyone. But I did see a Zé Pavino, which I'm going to bring you in just a moment. Good morning, everyone. That goes alongside our trigger alert, the Zé Pavino picture I've taken. Anything where we just want to a smackdown, like, we've got a Zé Pavino for every moment. So Baldilocks is in California. How you doing, mate, this morning? Good to have you here. Thank you so much for making the effort. Pombal implicated the Jesuits in the Tavora affair, an attempt. What? The God-loving, peace-loving Jesuits were behind an assassination. I can't believe it. The Jesuits and I must watch The Mission again. I must rewatch that to get a bit of background on this. Pombal implicated the Jesuits in the Tavora affair, an attempted assassination of the king on the 3rd of September 1758 on the grounds of their friendship with some of the supposed conspirators. I wonder what their alibi was for that. But anyway, the Marquis not standing for any talk and chat and conversation, booted out. I think not long after they had their assets seized. Gumbers! Suze is here, everybody, as is Jeff. Oh, Jeff, I need to drop you a line and want to talk to you about something. Bon dia todos. Jeff Jackson's in this morning. Fantastic. Excellent effort, all you Americans. Thank you. Thunder, I remember hearing that one. So funny. People loving Stephen Wright. And the Jazz Funk track of the day. Sorry, good morning to you, OLP, I should say as well. Hola, bon dia. Late today, Carl. Faja de dia. Deborah and Ronnie Laws. Ronnie Laws, what a legend. The more you scratch the surface of some of these titans of jazz funk, the more you realize their tentacles of talent spread out everywhere across the musical landscape that we know today. Very special, a classic in the jazz funk stable. Sing out loud, Carl. All my love is all I have, and my dreams are very special. Indeed they are, and great sentiments in this wonderful community this morning. Thanks for doing this, Chris. Bon dia from Jandis as well. Good folks, good vibes. Thank you very much. And Laura P as well. Laura, feel free to put the link in regarding what you sent me earlier on this morning. Be grateful for that. The cookery demonstration to come in 15 minutes. See occasion-inspired recipe this morning, and the chef, the cook, sorry, chefs do it for the money, cooks do it for the love and the passion. Whoops. Two things you shouldn't say: chef and fast food when we're talking with Owen. He was out mooning this morning. Let's have a look at the documentary evidence, shall we, of that?
Good morning. I've just finished pinboning my fish for this morning's meal, and I just thought I'd come out and get the moon set and say a very good morning. Have a wonderful Wednesday. See you soon.
What did he just say? He's just finished pin boning his fish. I don't think there's a law against that. Certainly, probably no. I'm so tired. I've just finished pin boning my fish. I'm just getting me Zé Pavino to the screen. You never know when you might need this. This will be available on the show notes page. Oh, it's a bit dark. Let's have a look and see what this is like on the screen in just a moment. But this is what you need. This is we were talking yesterday about Bordalo, weren't we? And Caldas de Rainha, the epicenter of a certain kind of ceramics and pottery. And of course, Bordalo, I think we must find out more about this as well. I really need to do the research before the show, don't I? Not during or after it even. I tend to be doing it after the show. What a pro. But you'll like this. This is Zé Pavino, the creation of Bordalo. That is predates well, pretty much everything else we've talked about culturally, socially. This is early social comment. This is early social media, really, where you're able to, by just speaking in the spirit of Zé Povinho, say what you mean to say in a very down to earth sort of way. So I need to bring that onto the screen for you now. I've sent it to myself on WhatsApp. Clever stuff, this. And I'm wondering if my photograph that I took yesterday in the La Vie Centre in Caldas da Rainha, if this has been done justice here. Because the La Vie shopping centre is one of my favourites. I do like shopping malls here in Portugal. They are quite manageable. I am not a shopping mall person. And I know a lot of Americans, when I talk about shopping malls, oh no, I've been to a shopping mall for years. I wouldn't go anywhere like that. But it's safe to go to the shopping malls of Portugal. And they're a lot less crowded for you, for those people who get a bit angsty, a little bit anxious inside a shopping centre. Fantastic in Portugal generally, but my favourite, I think, is lovely. It's only a little one with a great food court. No, WhatsApp is not playing with me this morning. We'll come back to that later on. Let's have a look at more of your comments this morning. And yes, do please make sure to send over a donation via Frank and Rachel to Victoria. Having a bit of a whip round for Victoria, who was robbed in the south of Portugal yesterday. And hopefully the police will be getting involved in that in a serious way later on this afternoon. But devtam01@gmail.com for the donations for Victoria. So we can at least get her some grub and cover the basics while she gets all her cards sorted out. I love that version of Rio de Janeiro Blues by Randy Crawford. She has a beautiful voice. That's the OLP thanking Chris for one of his recommendations earlier. That was last week, I think, wasn't it? Smash those likes, says Chris. Go on, smash them. See what happens. See if we can break the internet this morning. Bom dia, todos. Hope you're all good, says Francis in Cape Town this morning. And Owen, beat Bobby Flay. I wonder what that means. Let's see if he understands that later on. I don't know what that means. Bon dia todos from Antonio F this morning. Hey, Antonio, how are you? Hola, bon dia, alegria todos to Pombal. So Pombal, crispy this morning, 3 degrees, blue skies, and the grey grass on the floor, the crispy grass. Cheers, Matty. Bon dia, or should I say bum dia? Why? Because of the mooning references, I wonder, Kate. Ice on my windscreen this morning. Can't believe it. I thought I left that behind. Complaint coming in from Foz. Yeah, it is a frosty morning this morning. Well and truly. I think in quite a few parts of Portugal. But it is bright. We'll have those bright blue skies and we will be warming our bones. Even at 14 degrees, we will be, believe me. Bon dia, Carl. I had tomorrow's show on. Do I need to start color coding my Milk Tray Man jumpers? If I get a set of these, or maybe just get a T-shirt with the day of the week upon it, is that going to help? If any of the Gumper community need such help with accessibility issues like this, cues about what day it is, then I'm glad to help. How is Victoria personally? Okay, so I think Victoria is okay. She is a very resilient person, as we know. She's come to Portugal, traveling solo to Portugal, and is an amazing woman. And so I think she will be fine. It's a shock, isn't it? Obviously, to be robbed in the street, a horrible shock, but no injuries. I don't think it was a physical attack, or in that sense. But hopefully, she'll be here to tell us all about it herself, and we can have a bit of a whip round and send her a few quid to keep her going until she gets her card sorted out. Oregonians loving Portugal. I agree. She truly is a special artist. Not Victoria, but Victoria is a special artist. But we're talking about Randy Crawford here, aren't we? Also love her with the Crusaders. Street Life is one of my all-time favorites. Yes, the extended version of that, where they go into some solos, is wonderful, isn't it? And who is it? Joe Sample, the amazing keys man, I think, in the band there, the Crusaders. I hope she is doing okay. We need to find out, don't we? Is that email for PayPal? It is. Yes. Sorry, I should have explained. So the PayPal. The PayPal is of Frank and Rachel, who are not far from Victoria. That is their PayPal address, devtam01@gmail.com, and you use that for PayPal to send some dosh to Victoria this morning so we can help her out. Okay, we have, yes, quite right, Francis. So sorry to hear, Victoria. Sad to hear that happen. It does, doesn't it? Robbed, yep, indeed, Antonio F. And really sorry to hear the news about Victoria. Hope you're okay. I hope you're here to hear this as well, Victoria, this morning. Bon dia, Carla Toros. This is Abu. I decided to go with Moaz, my first name, Ah, okay, so that's you, Moaz Abu, confusing us there. Abu felt formal and Moaz is more friendly. So from here on in, it's like Prince. It might be the contributor formerly known as, but for the time being, we've gone from Abu to Moaz. Okay, it's a riot. The humpity, absolutely, and more condolences for the shock news about Victoria being robbed there. Bon dia, Gumpers just tuned in after the laptop took forever to update. Come on, invest some of that crypto gain in a new laptop, maybe. Sorry, morning to you, big boy crypto pants. And Deagle, sorry to hear about that, Victoria. You look good in your black turtleneck. Well, thank you very much. It's actually a dark shade of green. It's British racing green, I think it's safe to call this. A bit like my background, but with the green screen, it comes out as a black. I will be delivering chocolates through. Actually, that's probably not a good thing to do, is it? To be dressed in black, scaling buildings, and like getting caught and going, I'm just dropping off a box of milk tray chocolates. You're under arrest. Breaking and entering this lady's house. What are you thinking? Erotic novel entry, and who doesn't like an erotic entry in the morning? Beyond any, sorry, different voice for this, isn't it? I need to get me a flex board set up for this. Randy, we need to talk. Beyond any capacity to control himself after seeing her, the Marquis delightedly seized all her assets. I missed the story about Victoria. So robbed in down there in the Algarve, and we're having a bit of a whip round this morning. Michelle Victoria. Moaz is asking that, not Michelle. Michelle's in from Australia this morning. Victoria, yeah, robbed sadly in down there in the south, and we're having a bit of a whip round this morning on that PayPal address, which is, let me get back to it. Is it devtam? Yeah, devtam01@gmail.com. If we can send Victoria a few quid to keep her going. Damp overnight in Belfast will be dry. I thought I said dry middle fingers. Dry middle single figures. Are you doing that on purpose? Dry middle single figures there. Deagle, thank you for that weather report from Belfast. And Bon dia Alegria from a sunny but chilly, yes indeed, bright but a little bit on the chilly side, eh, Cindy? This morning. And Anna, back in, are you back? Yes, you are. You're back in VR SA this morning. Bon dia from a wonderful morning in Villarreal de Santo Antonio. And we really enjoyed your pictures from Sweden, Anna. Great to have you back here on this side of the water. And thank you for the video of your descent into Lisbon Airport as well. Went to book my flights to the Algarve. The plane is sold out. One flight a day. What? So we'll have to fly into Lisbon, pick up a car and drive to the Algarve. This is a small cost for our love of Portugal. Absolutely. Onto the A2. How exciting. Road trip, A2. Regarding assets, we might add with vigor. Jenny B, I received my journal. So happy I bought one. It is beautiful. It absolutely is. It's an amazing thing to have, isn't it? The Jenny B journal, which I'm already looking forward to me 2023 one. It's a beautiful thing to have in front of you. Really uplifting, a very uplifting thing that she's done there. It's quite incredible. And bon dia, Carl, and everyone from Michelle in Australia there. Wow, that would be great to start the GMP Thunder Gumpers. Thunder Gumpers are go. Five. Everyone knows that, don't they? When it comes on the telly when we were kids. 5, 4, Thunderbirds are go. Gumper birds are go. Jack Polly's here, everybody. Bon dia todos. Sorry to hear about Vic. Yeah, it's rotten, isn't it? But this community is rallying around this morning. Going to my neurologist appointment very soon. I'll see the reply later. You absolutely will. And flying in tomorrow, yes, of course, but just for a week of Portuguese administration. You make it sound so exciting, Prof. Surely you'll have a bit of time for hanging out and drinking coffee and eating pastries as well. Laura P. Sorry, I missed something. What happened to Vic? May I help? I live near Portimao. Great. Thank you, Laura P. I can connect you after the show. Let's see what we'll go on with that a bit later on. And bon dia, 15 minutes of Mia's Portuguese lesson. Well done, Gary. Of course, we get a discount on that as premium members, don't we? Look up, and you can sign up free to the basic stages of Mia's European Portuguese lessons. Give thoughts to those in Tonga today, indeed, as the real extent of the loss is revealed. Yikes. Yeah, absolutely grisly, isn't it? And love. What can you do except stand aghast and it's just awful, isn't it? But presumably there are some things we can do in terms of sending money and some kind of help to Tonga. Erotic novel entry, another one. He was always exhausted and extremely satisfied after pin boning his fish. OMG. So strange to hear that in Portugal. Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I mean, that's the shocker, is that, you know, we have what 99.9% great things to say about Portugal, and then you hear something like that. And of course it does happen in Portugal. You know, it happens in areas of tourism, just, you know, it doesn't make it okay, but it does happen. It happens everywhere pretty much from time to time. So it is awful to hear. And as I say, we'll rally around and see what we can do. Bon dia, lovely people. Since I'm under quarantine until my test results, I can feel free to watch you live. Yes. I think you're safely at 2 meters, aren't you? And with the internet prophylactic, is that the right way of putting it? The shield, or the online shield. What are they doing? Are they doing some? They're doing the electric boogaloo in Al-Viagra this morning. I think they've gone from puppetry to breakdancing this morning. The culprit is one of my adorable nephews. I don't feel sick, so I'm not bothered. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that, Nubian. Lots of people with positive tests who are feeling absolutely the Mae West, aren't they, in these strange times? Feeling for Victoria. I hope getting robbed is a rare thing in Portugal. I think it is. I guess if living there, we have to be mindful of what we carry with us. Glad she's okay, but what a violation indeed. Absolutely right. Bon dia, Carl, and all from Raphael this morning. Raphael tuning in. I'm sure he likes his food, does Raphael, with his Italian connections, but it's Cajun and not Italian inspiration this morning. Carl, the like button helps with the YouTube algorithm. Well, yes, please feel free to tinker with my algorithm. So the more likes the YouTube recommends the channel. Okay, so smash those likes. Do what he's saying. We do it. You do it. Even the Gumpers staring at the moon do it. Let's do it. Let's all smash those likes. It's turning into... They'll be holding their lighters in the air in a minute in Al-Viagra. So we've gone from the... Hold on a minute. You've got to see this. What are they doing? Send some love and money to Rachel Tomiro, so don't be confused when you see her name pop up. Yeah, so it's Rachel and Frank who are handling that. We can't send the money direct to Victoria's cards because she hasn't got them anymore. So yeah, when you get there, it's not a scam. It's not Frank just soliciting for extra beer. Although we do see that that's his handling fee. We will buy you a beer out of the proceeds there. Cheers. And you're getting Rachel a nice bottle of wine for doing this as handling fee, as it were. They probably won't want to do that. But they are very kindly receiving the donations via PayPal this morning so that they can give cash to Victoria. So sorry to hear about Victoria, says Cindy B. I'm sorry about Victoria too, says Moaz. I was mugged at gunpoint in Phoenix and I still remember it. Yikes. Terrifying. That must be awful. Yeah, of course you still remember it. If someone is in contact with Victoria, let her know that she needs any help. I'm here in Albufeira. Thank you. And sorry to hear about Victoria. Does she accept Bitcoin? I'm going to be difficult with that one, but we're probably not paying attention whilst working. Yeah, we knew what you meant. Erotic novel, sensual romance in Portuguese. Okay, I think it's time. It's 9 o'clock, folks. We'll come back to more of your comments. Of course we will. Just a quickie there. It's happened to me as well, says Nubin. I remember trying to prepare myself for being shot. Horrible, isn't it? What? Oh, my goodness. No wonder you want to come to the safer Portugal. It wasn't like that, I don't think, for Victoria. As horrible as it must have been, I don't believe it was at gunpoint. Yes, I was really more angry at my friend because we parked very late at night in a bad neighborhood and the people at the club didn't help us. Yikes, bad neighborhoods. Clubbing, yes, and a memory that's hard to erase there. 9 o'clock here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Expatsportugal.com. Do join us as a premium member and get all those benefits. Find out more on the homepage, expatsportugal.com. And you can join free and become part of our forum community there. But now is the time, or not but, it's an and. We don't do buts, we do ands. We are going to Al-Viagra.
Now is the time to get this right. Money.
Yeah. What's going on there?
How are you doing?
Yeah. Very good this morning. Very good Jerry Anderson inspired puppetry. Good bit of breakdancing, the electric boogaloo as well. We're not going to see you if you drop and do the worm, as it were, or the caterpillar.
No,
not doing your wormies. But we are talking Cooking again. It's great to have you back, Owen, and the amazing Austin brothers. One in front of the camera, one behind the camera. Gary, Garvo, you need to know that people have been asking if they can do the tasting job.
It's get in line. I've got a long list of applicants for that.
That's what I told them. So, Gary, you're here really to taste the food. Is that right?
Well, to help, assist, fill in the blanks, be a general idiot as I normally am. But yeah, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
Fantastic. Thank you for your help this morning. And thank you, Terence, behind the scenes there as well. Owen, tell us all about this wonderful recipe this morning. The blackened seasoning, is that right? Is that what we're calling it?
It's a blackened seasoning. Yeah, it's Cajun inspired, but we're going to be using the dorada, also known as the.
I'm doing that past.
Sorry, but yeah, loads of
Enunciate,
takes from the video we did earlier, Carl. Before I do go on about that, I'd just like to send my love out to Victoria down there in the Algarve.
Yeah,
sending our love, Victoria.
Yes, absolutely right. And we're doing all we can this morning, having a bit of a whip round for Victoria. And my Zay Pavino that I am trying desperately to get onto the screen. We'll give one of these to the perpetrator of that mugging down there in the south. One of these for you, you rascal. There you go. That's for you.
Right up.
Don't you do that? Do that to our friend Victoria. Okay, so back to the cooking. Sorry for calling you a chef. It's about the love and the passion, celebration of Portuguese food, of course. And that's what you do, isn't it, Owen? Making sure you get the best possible ingredients here in Portugal and bring in flavors from all around the world.
Yeah, that's the idea, Carl. Yeah, so we've got the dorada this morning, also known as the sea bream, the gilted.
Gilt head bream.
Gilt head bream. See, I kept getting that wrong all day yesterday. But we've got all the ingredients laid down here. We've already got the filleted, boned, and from this morning, pin boned, the fish there. Then for the tacos, obviously we're going to have that on the flatbreads, along with some lettuce, onions, spring onions, tomatoes, a little bit squeeze of lime, and an avocado dip. We're going to be doing the avocado dip with you shortly. We'll do all that live online and get Gary to help me along the way as well at the same time.
Superb. So, I mean, you must be exhausted. You were up boning really early this morning, weren't you? What can you talk to us about the distinction? What is pin? I mean, we're all pretty much familiar with what boning is, but pin boning, what's that specialism that you've brought to this?
If you're looking, when you've filleted the fish, I'm not going to take a piece out. You can see from down here. Yeah. Alongside where I've made this cut, I've actually cut the fish fillet itself. But along the line of the fish, there's about 12 to 14 bones there, which normally get missed or sometimes get missed. So what I've done literally with a pair of tweezers this morning is to take the individual bones out there, because the last thing I want is to have, the odd fish bone in there and it stick into the roof of your mouth. It's just happened to me before in the past.
Really? And then Garvo struggling on screen while he's going for his tasting.
I don't want any of that at all. No, can't do any of that.
Get it with this.
Get it with that. Lean back. We'll sort it out for you. Whilst we're on that subject, there are all sorts of I don't know if they're old wives' tales, but they say eat bread, don't they? Lemon juice dissolves the fish bones as well if you get a fish bone stuck in your throat.
No, I've never come across that one, Carl. That's the first time I've heard one, but
might have dreamt it. Might have dreamt it from one of my boning dreams recently.
I think that's an old wives' tale, because I remember a fisherman on a sea fishing trip. He said, "Jam sandwiches. That's what you got to have before you come on board." And I said, "Well, does that help with seasickness?" He said, "No, but it's easier to bring up."
Thank you for that. With bones and things like that, my father, when he was a kid, swallowed a pin. One of those things people did before the internet, I suppose, wasn't it? And TV, just swallow things around that you find around the house when you're a kid, see what happens. And I think he told me, and I don't know if it's like one of those distant and dim childhood memories that got slightly changed, but I think he was told to swallow cotton wool, which, I mean, that doesn't make any sense either, does it?
Not really.
No.
It doesn't.
It's going to be a strange poo, isn't it? Let's be honest.
That's what I'm thinking. Or the that's your top dad joke, isn't it? Can you help my son? He swallowed a coin. How's he doing? No change yet.
No change. That's dad joke. Dad joke of the day, Carl.
Struggling to recall it there. That's the problem with dad jokes, isn't it? As you get older as a dad, it's harder to remember the jokes. But there you go. We'll have to write them down. We'll have to have a book of Gumper dad jokes. Yes, James, get on that as well as writing the erotic novel. Okay, so gentlemen, take it away. What should we do? Do you want us to roll VT at this point?
Yes, let's do the preparation video because it would give us a better idea, I think. So you just a couple of minutes while we see what he's been up to.
All right, excellent. Let's do that right away. And this is, a fantastic video made by the amazing Austin brothers. Like one they made earlier.
Welcome to Portugal. Welcome to a beautiful sunny day that we have here. What I'm going to be doing for you today is the blackening spices. The blackening spices is used in grilling and also barbecuing as well. It's a Cajun, comes from Cajun origins, and I'm going to be going through it, making the mix up for you, and then we will talk a little bit further of how we're going to do the fish and prepare the fish as well. So the ingredients we're going to use for the spice mix today is a tablespoon and a half of paprika. I'm going to mix them in this bowl before I transfer them to an airtight bowl for storage. And then next we have a tablespoon of garlic salt. Same again with onion salt or onion granules, you can even use as well. Teaspoon of black pepper. And teaspoon of dried basil. Teaspoon of dried thyme, or fresh thyme if you have it in your garden. I'm very lucky and very fortunate to have my own here. And then finally, a teaspoon of oregano. So that's all just in the bowl there. Just going to give it a nice little shake. And then add it to my storage jar, which is ideal for keeping everything not on the mat. On the chopping board rather, which I seem to get a little bit on, but never mind, it can always be put back in later on. Okay, so just going to mix this together nicely, and as I said, this Cajun seasoning, or the blackening seasoning, it's really a process that you can grill, fry fish, meat, chicken, pork, anything really, even roast your vegetables on a barbecue. This is reserved for a fish dish that I'll be doing. It's lovely, this countryside. It's absolutely beautiful listening to all the sounds of the birds and the chainsaws. It's amazing, I love it. But yeah, these are the spices. If you want more ideas on spices, give me a shout on Owen's Food Alchemy, and I'm sure I'll be able to help you with your spice mixes. So here we have the dorada, or the gilt-head bream, as known as in other places. What I'm going to be doing with this, I'm going to be first of all scaling them, and then I'll be giving them a good old fillet. And then we'll continue with the rest of the recipe when I've done that. Right then, it's on to the filleting. For those of you with a squeamish disposition, you can look away now. But what I have done, just in case, I've made the initial fillets that are there below me. But I'm just going to show you where I've actually made the cuts. So, if you come down here with me, c'est moi, I can show you where I've made the cuts in the fish. Come and join me. So, what I have done, I have removed the head, and then I have worked down the back of the fish, following the backbone. So make sure that your knife is flat and you can feel the backbone just there, and work your way along all the way back to the tail. And then I turn the fish round and did the same again, once again keeping the knife flat and working up towards the backbone there. And simply, if I lift off, you'll see the fish fillet there, and the bones are still there. I have my trusty tweezers here, and I will be pinboning the fish, but I'll leave that to something to do off camera. But the fish goes nicely from here over to the other fillets that are lying there. Okay, so for our blackened dorado taco tomorrow, we need to make an avocado dip. And within the avocado dip, we have sour cream. I'm going to show you how we make the sour cream along with all the ingredients. So, join me there. So for our avocado dip, we need to make some sour cream. I've got the ingredients here in front of me. We have a lemon, nice plump lemon there. We have salt, some double cream, some white vinegar, and some milk. So we need the juice from the lemon. And here's a little tip for you to make you more juice from your lemon. Is just roll it around. You can feel it going softer. It's not going to split on you, depending on how ripe it is. But just give it a roll until you hear it. I can hear it. I don't know if the microphone's picking that up there, but you can hear the juices inside, even when I cut it. Look at that already on the table. On the table already. There's plenty more left in there. I'm just going to attempt to pour it. Still plenty in there, but that's enough that I need in the dish. And simply, all I'm going to do is add the milk, pinch of salt, the double cream, there's already a reaction going on inside, so hopefully I'll be able to show you. Pour in the vinegar and the lemon juice. I'm going to use my knife just to stir it here, but I can already see that it's started to curdle a little bit. What I will do, I'm just going to give it a little taste. Give it a bit more cream. And the rest of the lemon juice. And that's it. I'm going to put this into the fridge and leave it for overnight, and I'll be able to show you a little bit later on the avocado mix that goes with it. Right, so that's all the prep work done. Now let's go and cook it.
That's great. Excellent stuff there, gentlemen. Very, very good. Very good. There's the prep video. You have been busy, haven't you? And some nice cooking tips and hacks in there. What were you doing with the lemon?
The lemon, I was rolling the lemon, Carl. The more you can do the same with oranges before you juice them. I was just gently rolling it, caressing it, giving it a nice massage. And then, yeah, you find you get a lot more juice out of it when you squeeze.
Okay. Squeeze it. If you roll in,
I've got another hack for you.
Okay.
The spring onions that we're using. Spring onions, quite difficult to find here in Portugal. I actually had my friends send some spring onions out last year, but save the bottom ends of your spring onions, because stick these in the ground. Obviously, they'll take within no time at all, and just keep cutting back the green half and use them in your salads. It will continue to grow. I've had some growing in the garden for nearly a year now. I'm still taking the green tops off.
There you go. Little tips and bottom ends from Owen this morning. And they're also known as scallions, aren't they? Those
they are scallions. Scallions, I think across the pond, in America at least, I'm sure they're known as scallions, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, well, let's see some more then. Let's show us the fish, Owen.
Well, the fish is all ready to go. I've still yet to oil it and put the spices on. But what I do want to do is just finish off by doing the avocado dip. Using the sour cream that we saw there.
Well, that was fantastic. Yep. Chemistry, right?
We've got an ingredient slide for you, Sam.
Oh, I say, okay, I'm going to get off the screen and make this nice and big on the screen. There you go.
Okay.
So this is the full ingredient order. Can you just take, we've got the 4 dorada fillets, 4 tortilla wraps, a whole heap of tomatoes, the small cherry tomatoes, the fish seasoning, which is paprika, garlic salt, onion salt, basil, thyme.
I have to rerun it.
And the basil, thyme, and oregano, salt and pepper, and 2 limes, and 2 tablespoons full of mayonnaise. I'll just describe that's a mixture of actually everything we have there. The 50 mils of sour cream, which were made freshly, fresh coriander, mayonnaise, 2 limes, and salt and pepper to taste. So what I'm going to do with the avocado now is pop the avocado into the jar. It might get a bit noisy in a moment or two when we have a Garvo use the whole hand mixer. So I'm literally into the sour cream mix here. I'm putting in the avocado. I'll try with just the one avocado to start with.
Sometimes avocados are a bit, they're a bit sort of, what is it, a Marmite thing with people, aren't they?
You either love them or you hate them.
You either love them or hate them.
It's actually really, really, really nice for a breakfast dish. It's just simply some nice toast, avocado, a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of lemon, just spread on top.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Right, so thank you very, very much.
Rid of the rubbish. We'll
cheers.
Take those away.
So, as I say, in the jug here, we've got the avocado. I need to add some mayonnaise. So just going to pop some mayonnaise into there as well. And then I'm going to get Garvo to mix that with the hand blender for me, just so we have a nice thick green consistency. I'll add some salt and pepper once that's been done. I've got the pan going on the back. Put it onto a low heat just to warm up. And then if I get to our fish, rather than putting oil in the pan, just going to pour a little amount of the olive oil over the top of the fish before I put the seasoning on.
Ooh, drizzling.
That'll do. Just massage it in a little bit there. And then I'm going to take the seasoning and just sprinkle that over the top there. And the reason I'd used olive oil is just to give a little bit more cooking time. Using a vegetable oil or a sunflower oil heats up rather quickly and you tend to burn it. I don't want to burn it. When using the phrase or the term blackening, it's not to burn the fish. It's just literally to add the flavours to the fish itself.
Well, you see, that's where I made the mistake. I thought when you said blackened fish, I thought it was going to be like, wah!
No.
Get the blowtorch.
It's literally, I think it's the seasonings, the flavour. You're trying to impart the flavour into the fish without burning it. So that's done there. I'm just going to turn up, if you would, Gaz, if you turn up the heat on the frying pan at the back just a little bit for me.
He's probably going to turn it off now, isn't he?
So all the herbs and spices are on there. We're ready to go.
Okay, is that enough?
That's perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to go over to the stove here. Wait till we've got a little bit of heat going on in the pan. And then we can start to blacken that. Up for answering any questions today, Carl, if anybody wants to throw them in.
Yeah, definitely. Jennifer is here. Can you ask Owen if he's cooking my birthday meal on Friday, as we discussed last weekend? She needs to hear from you. Okay,
Jennifer, I'll be speaking to her later on. I've had problems with my credit for my phone, but I'll be giving her a call later on.
All right, Jennifer, there you go. Owen will be in touch today. What city is Owen in? That is from the OLP. So,
we're in the Federal Republic of Al-Viagra, no city.
Yeah, yes. Well, yeah, OLP wants to know, I think, probably for another book in there, Owen. So while you're doing that, you are the expert, of course, Garvo, on the, what did you call it? The Federal...
Federal Republic.
The Federal Republic of Al-Viagra. Is that for real?
No.
Oh, okay. Right.
Well, we are in the Republic, aren't we, if you think about it?
You never know in central Portugal. I mean, you've got your own amazing, rousing anthem, haven't you, which we played late last year, which is really good, featuring all the people.
It gives you indigestion.
It was superb. But Al-Viagra, which sorry to cause any confusion, there may well be people now looking for Al-Viagra on Google, which will cause all sorts of problems and besmirch your search history forever, and your retail choices, of course, online. But it's Al-Viagra, which somebody. Oh, actually, I'll find it and pop it in onto the screen for you there, OLP. But central Portugal, whereabouts in Portugal do we find Al-Viagra? Nearest big cities and towns, Garvo.
Well, we're sort of equidistant between at the south end, Tamar. Tamar is down there. If you go out up to the north, we're about an hour away from Coimbra, and then if you go out to the west, you're going to sort of hit Pombal that way. And if you go out to the east, Castillo Branco, so roughly in the middle of that sort of zone.
Yeah, excellent. That's where I saw the Marquês de Pombal statue, of course, in Pombal. Should have realised that. Okay, so the sounds of cooking there in the pan in Al-Viagra there. Thank you for that, Garvo. And you've got to go there, OLP. You've got to go to central Portugal. I'm sure Garvo will be up for meeting for coffee and cake. Any opportunity?
Come on down, have a beer.
Food taste, have a beer, and maybe pop into the man cave, their spiritual home of the man cave, the original venue. Do you remember those early Friday nights, Garvo?
How can I ever forget them, Carl?
You'll never forget.
I'm still in rehab.
You wake up in the night screaming man cave.
Frank!
Wine club as well this year, 2022. We had great fun, and I think we sampled well over 50 wines on that run that we did, and it was great fun. And it should return at some point, obviously, to go alongside the wonderful food offerings like this morning. Do you think there's legs for that?
I think so. I mean, we had a bit of a blast before, didn't we? It was quite a good run. We learned a lot. We are more sort of educated about how wine is made, and well, I like to think I am anyway. I'll probably talk about it.
You were great actually, because you made a real effort to contact some of the producers, and we had amazing people on the show, didn't we? You know, like Luis Pato and people from various marketing departments of big wine brands around Portugal, and came on and told us a story of their brands. It was really, really good. So hopefully we'll reinstate that this year as well, 2022.
Actually, while Owen is cooking the fish, talking about wine, I'm going to try and get him in. Should we go to the close-up, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Hold up.
We selected the wine for today.
Ooh.
Which is this one.
Yeah.
And it's, the fish has arrived.
It's brown, isn't it?
Nice little blend of 3 different wines. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this because I can't see it. It is, forgive my pronunciation, Arinto, Fernão Pires, and Chardonnay.
Chardonnay in there, unusually for a Portuguese white.
Yes. So, we'll give that a blast with this. It should go quite nice.
Okay.
And we'll give that a look at those. That's lovely, aren't
they? His fillets are browning nicely there, aren't they? For sure. And that's the black.
Smelling delicious.
I bet. That's what we.
Yes, thank you. Well, the ideal thing to look for, Carl, while you are frying your fish, obviously it's going to be very clear to start with. And what I've actually done here, I've actually pressed the skin down, because you can eat the skin. Yeah. The skin is really, really nice. So I don't know if you can see right in there, but it's still quite clear at the top. But just right at the very bottom of the fish, it's just starting to go a milky white. So that, for me, gives me a sign of turning the fish over.
Yeah.
Garbo, if you would please get one of the wraps out of the packet and put it into the frying pan here for me, please.
Garbo's rolling his sleeves.
So I put the skin side down first just to crisp it up. Lovely colour there. Lovely crispy skin. Once again, with this piece of fish, it's just going milky white at the bottom there. So it's time to turn that one over.
Where would you like that, sir?
In this frying pan, please, Garbo. And as I say, with it, as you can see, the fish that's on the that's already done there, we're just looking for the herbs and spices just to take on into the fish there.
Smells nice.
Isn't it? Oh my! Yeah, I'll take your word for that. I mean, that's the problem with cookery programs, isn't it? Is that we haven't got the technology yet to be able to smell what's going on.
Smelly vision, have we?
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of the time you wouldn't want that anyway, would you? Whilst you're watching a live stream, to actually be able to smell the people at the other end, you wouldn't want it. But on this occasion, yes, definitely. In a man cave in.
Now,
Carl, I'm going to have to blitz this up and make a noise. So if you want to cut off and do some questions and mute our sound,
okay. All right. I'll just mute your sound so we can see what's going on there, if that's all right. So
Okay.
no, just bear that in mind. So we've muted them up there. You can see what's going on over there in Al-Viagra, and we'll go back to somebody swallowed a thrupney bit, which is a great turn of phrase. You don't hear that very often, do you? Thrupney bits, probably just as well. Okay, let's see where we got to in the comments. Thank you everybody for your amazing contributions every day. We do this, in case you're new to the situation here, we do this every day from 8:30 until 10 or thereabouts. Often we're kept a little bit later than that, aren't we? And I'll need you fellas in Al-Viagra to wave vigorously when you want to come back onto the screen. It was a balmy 2 degrees overnight in here in Ericeira. So this is what's going on. Very bright. It is chilly, but it's very bright. And those blue skies are here in Portugal. Thank you for these wonderful weather reports coming in from around the country. And I love Thunder Gumpers 5. Dad, every time James hears Jack Polly, he's reminded of his father there, which is lovely. And talking of you, James, you need to get out more or finish that erotic novel. Not both. And going back to Moaz's experience being robbed in a car park, angry. Oh yeah, because the people at the club didn't help, and there's another bit to that we'll come to in just a moment. Oh yeah, here it is. Nubianette. Oh no, this is Nubianette's contribution. There were a lot of people. I went for help, but the men were too drunk and flirty to help me. I found this more shocking. That's awful, isn't it? When people won't sober up and see the need of the situation like that. Awful for you there, Nubianette. On another day, 15 minutes. Oh, another day of 15 minutes completed yesterday. Well done, Deagle. Keep it up, mate. And a comment for the fellas in Al-Viagra. You guys not cool. No matching bandanas or mandanas there in Al-Viagra this morning. Garvo preferring to sport the Jaguar baseball cap. There. Garvo, did Terence like the German Lebkuchen? We might even get a thumbs up coming around from behind the camera for the German Lebkuchen in a minute. Thank you for that, Matty. And my heart still lights up and smiles every time Carl reads your name, Jack Polly. Isn't that lovely? Bit of added value there that we never expected. And Wilfredo's here. Wilfredo Benitez is here. Born dear from Espinho. Underestimated Espinho, further up north there in Portugal. Not far from Aveiro, and a little kiss there for you, I think, from the Polly to the Holly. We're heading out early, as is usual, right? We're heading out early. We'll have to catch Owen on the replay. So there, and thank you for that, Thunder. Have a good journey. And are avocados grown in Portugal? Yes. One of those controversial mass-produced crops down there in the Algarve. I think it's the source of some controversy. The avocado crops in the Algarve there, they most certainly are grown in Portugal. It was interesting, Nubianette, you saying you love an avocado when in season. What is the avocado season? Because they certainly always seem to be in the shops, don't they? I wonder what, strictly speaking, the actual avocado season is. I saw a beautiful message from a woman called Wendy Howard, who's an amazing homesteader, permaculturalist in central Portugal, who was really, her place was affected seriously by the fires of 2017. And saw a lovely tree planting post, which I want to read out for you as well. And also, I think we're getting some news in. We have heard from Victoria now. And also this, from the Tastes of the Silver Coast. This is a really good comment from yesterday. I think they've had a few more in since I'm trying to find the post. Oh, yeah, there's somebody posted this on the Taste of the Silver Coast. Has anyone seen valid in capital letters articles about restaurant etiquette in Portugal? I want to respect the culture. So what would you say? I'm not going to reveal the person's identity because they weren't expecting that this morning, but it's a great question nonetheless. And I'm going to put that into the chat now. Has anyone seen valid articles about restaurant etiquette in Portugal? I want to respect the culture. What do you think of that? Do let me know in the chat there. That quote's gone in. And to Jack from Chris, further than Lagos, 8 minutes away from Sagres. This is Chris's gaff, one of his many houses that he's going to be having in Portugal, I think. Hopefully he'll be making an appearance at the Camprimar on Porto de Mos and also the Baia on Mia Praia over the weekend. It sounds like a packed and fun weekend ahead for you there, or a few days, Chris. Have a great day. Thunder from the OLP. Why hasn't Carl started yet? What was that? 9:06. What haven't I started yet? The cooking thing? I'm going back a bit. I don't know what you're referring to there, Laura Pete. My mother had a fishbone stuck in her throat when I was younger, and bread was meant to help remove it. She still went to the A&E. Wowzers. Okay, so I hope that ended well. And so bread was the suggestion in that instance, was it? And what did A&E have to say about that? I only had a small bone stuck in my throat once, and eating bread did help. So there we go. Bread does seem to help. We don't know about the lemon juice bit yet. This is really a short visit from Chris to Jack. How long will you be there for? So, Gumpers meeting Gumpers by the sound of it. And I see a Saturday morning show coming on for Owen. He's a natural, isn't he? He was so good in that video and brilliant in the live situation. Yes, a weekly show. I think he's coming back onto the screen in just a moment, but not until we've heard a couple of dad jokes. Did you hear about the huge sinkhole in the coastal highway? They're still not sure how it formed, but the Highway Authority are looking into it. Bit like when the toilets were stolen from the police station. The detectives had nothing to go on. Okay, so let's unmute Owen and Garvo. Why the choice of a baseball cap and bandana and not matching bandanas this morning, fellas?
Well, actually, Carl, it's a good job you addressed that, because I've had a few messages from viewers that are still getting confused. So I thought if I wore a baseball cap, you'll know who's who.
Okay, so yeah, just so everybody knows, it's Garvo on the left.
Garvo with the baseball cap.
Yeah, and Owen on
bandana.
the right with the bandana. Okay, just in case that was a struggle for anybody. Okay.
Bless him.
Right, come on then, let's do this.
Right. We are ready. As you can see, the fish is done. The fish is all ready to do, so I'm just going to make up the wrap here for good old Garvo. So first of all, I'm going to take the iceberg lettuce, which has been finely chopped, splash that on there with some tomatoes, some more lettuce. Let's get some more lettuce on there. And we have the various tomatoes going on top. We'll get the fish, place the fish on. And then I'm going to put, where have we gone? The avocado over the top, and then finish off with the spring onions. Garvo, I'm going to leave you to wrap that and to taste that. I'm going to make one for the man behind the camera, the man that makes the magic happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't leave him out.
Can't leave him out. And I must give a big thanks to Tony as well. Tony is the wonderful gentleman that has allowed me to stay at his place just down the road here from Studio Garvo. He allows me to use his kitchen. He allows me to do the filming. Oh, Garvo, just before you do that, have a wedge of lime. He allows me to do the filming and do my cooking. In fact, I do the cooking for him most nights. Big thank you to him for the use of the kitchen and allowing me to stay down there. So a bit of fish going on it. Look at the colour on the fish there. So that's what I would say. It's not actually blackened. It's not burnt. It's just the flavours being
not fair.
Impaired into there. Sauce again.
Do you know what, Owen? I've discovered I'm really rubbish at rolling wraps.
Well, that's why I didn't want to do it, because I'm just as bad. More spring onion on the top.
There's an art to it. There is an art to rolling wraps, isn't there? I think you've got to fold up and tuck up the bottom. You don't want it dropping out.
There. And this one is a bit too.
There's a fresh one in there.
Oh, do you know? No, I'll do this. I'll have this one. You go for it. You go for it, guys.
Go for it. I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna make a mess otherwise. I'm going in. I'm going in, folks.
He's going in. Oh, lucky bugger.
Oh my god. Whoa, it's got a kick as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
woof.
Okay, you can stop the show now. That's it. I'm good for
I'd be glad. Quite honestly, I'd be glad to, because my stomach is rumbling here. I didn't know. My intermittent fasting is very incompatible with what's going on the screen this morning.
Holy, that is
awesome. My mouth is watering. Cindy B's mouth watering as well. Pete Bleach is saying, "What a lovely pair of brummies." Yeah, sorry to hear of Victoria's news, says the prof. This will be a little comfort to her, I'm sure. The Portugal ranks 4th in the Global Peace Index. Crime is generally low, but clearly exists. Thank you very much for that, for pointing that out. Owen, And Gary, that looks tasty, tasty, very, very tasty.
Very tasty.
That brings back some good memories. We've had some good televisual memories this morning, haven't we? First time. Oh, Dave's here. David Wynell, great to have you here. First time looking in at a live cook show. Great, good idea to bring back the wine club as well. So a couple of requests to bring back the wine club. And Louise, late to the show today. Good Fish Restaurant is in Dornish. Dornish is beautiful, not far from you fellas there in Al-Viagra. Restaurant Font de Cima, Dornish is a wonderful spot for a visit near Senache de Bon Jardin. See? Okay, go on, tell us more about it then. Wind us up at this end. How's it going down with that nice crisp white?
Perfectly.
All right.
Oh yes, it's hang on, I'm finishing my mouth first now.
I'm quietly seething here, seething with envy. You could grill a fish on me. I'm seething so much.
I can see a nice evening, warm evening.
Yeah.
A nice chilled bottle of white wine. Out down on the patio there, on where we're down by the pool is. It's got to be done. It's got to be done because that is beautiful.
Okay.
It's a very delicate fish.
Yeah.
But the spices obviously give it an extra level, and you get that sort of run of the flavors of the peppers and the coriander and the onion, and it's quite kicky at the end, isn't it? It seems to go da, la, la, and then up.
So
it leaves you with a memory, doesn't it?
It is quite
Very
complex, isn't it? It is one of the more complicated setups that we've been involved with recipe wise, but well worth the effort by the sound of it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, you've been an inspiration to Chris as well. My turn to cook dinner tonight in the Capricorn 12 household. Fish is on the menu. You have just given me a great idea. So they're inspiration. And if you want to buy Owen a drink, that link is there to do that. And this is how to find Owen as well. I'm just trying to find me earlier posting there so that you can give... oh, yeah, we go. PayPal me / Owen's Food Alchemy if you want to drop... Owen a drink there for inspiring us this morning and for bookings as well. Owen's Food Alchemy on Facebook. Is that the best way to find you, Owen?
That's right, Carl. Yeah, thank you.
All right. What I wanted to ask you as well, we talked about the gilt head bream there. It's known as in some places the dourada, of course, here in Portugal. Substitute fish varieties. You could use the sargo in there, couldn't you? Which I think is another kind of you ideally looking for. And what other species of fish would you recommend in this recipe if you can't get a dorada or gilt head bream?
One thing that I'm really trying to do this with is ashiga, the black bass.
Oh, okay.
Which is quite a popular. Well, I know it's very popular between the Portuguese people, in particular where I was in Pedrogo Grande. I was gifted to by my Portuguese neighbour. He beat me to it, getting out fishing early morning on the lake. Oh. And he gave me 2 for my birthday, and I grilled those, and they were spectacular. But I haven't had the opportunity to either out fishing for them for myself. But I'm sure come next season we'll be out there with those fishing rods, and as soon as we can find one of those, it'll definitely be the ashiga in tribute to Portugal and the Cajun spices. I might do a jerk spice with it next time round.
I'm not giggling about that. That'll be immature, wouldn't it?
It would, but I'm giggling.
I think it would.
Okay. All right. I'll join you in just a moment. After a few more comments, would Garvo be able to host a wine club on Thursday after his cooking shows now? Does that get your approval? It doesn't need my approval, but it sounds like a great idea to bring back the wine club and a fishing club. I think it sounds like an outing of gumpers going out fishing and doing a bit of bushcraft stuff. We could get Nuno along from Windsurance, and we can actually cook the fish. It doesn't get fresher than that, does it? Wouldn't that be amazing?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds really good. And yeah, definitely, Pete. I think it's a goer, isn't it? The wine club. We might need to organise a new committee, but I'm sure the veterans of the wine club will be ready to reform and welcome a few new members as well. It was like Gogglebox with booze, wasn't it? Was it Friday nights we used to do it?
Thursday.
It was a Thursday evening, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yes, definitely wish I could smell Owen's cooking. Kippers on toast just doesn't smell the same. Looks amazing. I think I can smell it. It's so good. Your demonstration and the camera work going on, the production skills, so good. You can almost smell it.
I must say with that, I can't tell you how appreciative I am to Garvo and to Terry, John over here for doing all this filming for me. I mean, you know me, I love to cook. I love to cook anyway. So to have the bonus to share my cooking with you guys, it wouldn't be possible without these two. So, you know, it's massive thanks to these guys.
Absolutely. The amazing Austin brothers.
Yeah, it's all part of the great learning curve. It's challenging. It's technically challenging, but we're getting there slowly by slowly.
And just as a side note for that, you know, heading down back to Leiria this afternoon to see the doc. And also, hopefully, Hank and Connie will be there as well. I met Hank and Connie a couple of days ago.
Fantastic.
So maybe I'll cook for them over the next few days.
Oh, superb. Okay, Nubianette is just mentioning Victoria again. We'll go through many emotions, Victoria? It's a violation, hard to brush off, even if you're a tough person. Yeah, certainly didn't mean to undermine the effects of that anyway. And we have heard from her. She was out just walking up the road this morning. She's not with us. She's gone to see if she can find her bag. Yeah, and often, I guess, these robbers do dump the bag, don't they, to see if she can find and salvage anything from the incident. Looking down on the beach side to see if it got thrown into the bushes, but no luck. We'll be going to the police this afternoon since they sent us away last night, sadly. Okay, so Victoria out and about this morning by the sound of it. And more of your comments, folks. Look, I wonder if there's a relationship between those that enjoy guacamole and avocado and people that like eating their own snot. Pete always in with a pithy comment there, and there's one of them. Yes, we had a goat skull. What? A midlife crisis, yes. Oh, this is talking about crime levels in Portugal. We had a goat skull stolen from inside our yard gate. Also, some tourists walked by, opened my garden gate, helped themselves to some oranges. Shocked, really. At that point, you need to shout, "Get off my land," don't you?
Get off my land.
Get off my land. And so on this matter here, and I'm sure Owen, you and Garvo will have something to say about this. This was something that came up in Taste of the Silver Coast. Oh, hold on a minute. Zoom in on the citrus. What's going on here?
Right. Okay. We helped the guy across the road just put his gate back in because he's getting on a bit, right? And then he just gave us this whole load of oranges and fruit and stuff, and just
brilliant.
Helping him put his gate. This is Portugal. This is why you should be in the middle.
In Central Portugal. Shout out to Central Portugal there. Okay, yeah, and this then, these gentlemen will be able to help us with this. Has anyone seen valid articles about restaurant etiquette in Portugal? I want to respect the culture. Now, the great thing about eating out in Portugal is that you don't have to worry about loads of etiquette and, you know, all the airs and graces, do you? It's about the food, not about the formality. What would you add to that, fellas?
I love to try and eat as many Portuguese restaurants as I can, but there's just one thing I would change.
Oh,
which I would switch all the TVs off.
Yeah.
For me, eating, sitting down and reminiscing and talking to one another and enjoying each other's company rather than having a look at a TV screen. But that's me. I've not seen a TV screen, mainstream media for a number of years. So for me,
it's a bit of a shock for you then.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. Especially when there's 3 different channels being played on, 5 different TVs. So yeah, it's a bit distracting when the main event is obviously the food, but most of all, the company that you're keeping around the table.
Yeah, of course.
My tip, and I think everybody should try it, is have a look at the menu. It's obviously not going to make sense to you unless you speak pretty good Portuguese, but have a go. At least have a try. Don't be frightened to make a fool of yourself. Order or try and order something, and if they don't understand, they don't understand that. Just have a go, because that shows a bit of respect, really, for where you are and what you're doing.
Yes,
so that would be my tip.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and it comes from a very good place, doesn't it? I mean, somebody wanting to respect the culture, but it really is often so. I mean, there are high-end restaurants, obviously, in the big cities, and I guess you would go for a more. I was going to say pretentious. I don't mean that. I just, it would be a posh experience where you'll be thinking about how you dress and which particular bits of cutlery to use and all that sort of thing, and tasting the wine and everything in quite a formal way. But generally speaking, Tashka life, cafes, restaurants, it's all about the food and getting on with it and enjoying it, isn't it? Rather than worrying too much about etiquette. So I was really taken by that question. Don't worry is the thing. Don't worry about it too much. Get in there. Open your mind, open your heart, and I think that's probably the etiquette that you
enjoy
need.
It. Get in there.
Exactly.
Get in there and enjoy it. Andrew, a very nice offer here. Alpha the Great Dane is available to you, Victoria. Should you need a bodyguard down there, no one's going to approach you with Alpha by your side, only in a good way, I suspect. And good morning from Jacqueline Branco. Where you been, Jacqueline? Great to see you here. I don't think I've wished you a happy new year yet. And I'm sure you've been out and about doing your good work. She dead is dead, but now, oh, okay. This is so, yes. Big boy crypto pants talking about mum gone now, but not because of the fish bone. Okay, so yeah, shout out to Big Boy Crypto Pants' mom. R.I.P. Damn, I thought it was Garvo on the right. So it's really good we cleared that up earlier on. Well done, fellas, with the different headwear to show who you are. Fish bones freak me out, so I don't eat as much fish as I'd like. Yeah, that can put people off, but less bony species. Garvo and Owen, what's the best place to go or order? Best thing to order if you're not too.
The bigger the flakes, the less chance you're going to get the smaller pin bones in. There are pin bones in there, but 9 times out of 10, if you buy them in the supermarket, they're normally filleted, so they would have been pin boned as well. So like your cod, your bacalhau, a really good haddock, so really a fleshy. A fleshy fish would be really, really good. Like I say, it's just the same system that I was using before. You know, when you're cooking the fish, you get it's quite clear and it tends to go milky. So you can see that even more so when you're using the bigger fillets of fish. And I always tend to use olive oil because of the actual cooking temperature of the olive oil. I always find that if you're using vegetable oil or sunflower oil, it can burn rather quickly. And as you can see, I'm wanting to keep the colour.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to keep the colour on the fish there. You can see some of the oil residue there. So it's the flavour has literally gone into the fish. I think you'd agree though, the herbs and spices have gone in there. So using a bigger flake fish, let's say cod for example, do as I did: olive oil, rub your olive oil into the top, sprinkle your spice seasoning on there, and you'll see the cooking process go through. So any fish like that. I mean, I'm open for trying all sorts of fish in here. I know, funny enough, Carl, just researching last night, is that looking at the top 10, I know fish is eaten twice a week by the Portuguese. I mean, that can be clarified by our Portuguese viewers, but Dourado's not actually on the top 10. I looked through about 3 or 4 top 10 lists of seafood, and Dourado's not on there. Bacalhau's on about 3 or 4 times. And then you've got your mollusks.
Shows your mollusks.
Your shellfish. So I can't even get my words out.
You're talking mollusks.
One glass of wine, I promise.
That wine, you
yes, so yeah. So that's another reason for me wanting to use the Dorado, because you'll see the Dorado in most of the supermarkets.
You will, yeah.
There is some contention to go there because I know that they are farmed as well.
Yes,
but I would say, I mean, I'm visiting Figueira da Foz, the fish market down there, which I fell in love with. I'm visiting there this weekend to try and pick up the fish. And I always seem to say, well, I do say that the closer you get to the harbour, the bigger size portion of fish you're going to get. Obviously, if you're travelling inland, they tend to be smaller. Supermarkets, obviously, they rely on, a lot of the supermarkets rely on farmed fish. I know there are some local supplies, but depending on where you are. But certainly Figueira da Foz next week, the market there, I'm going to have a treat.
I bet you are. And you make a good point about the fish farming. Aquicultura is what you look for. When I go to the market on a Saturday morning here in San Martino de Porto, the little labels are clearly marked where it's been caught and if it's fish farmed, aquacultura. And the Sargo I bought, which is not unlike the Dorado you've seen there, it's got some sort of black veins in it. It's a slightly different texture, but it's a bream. But it was caught at Nazare. So you can see that when you go to a market, they'll mark up where it's been caught, which is great. And you'll see it. You can see how fresh it is. Fish buying, is it true? The other thing about fish, if they need a sparkly eye, the fresher they are.
Yeah, if the clearer the eyes, the fresher they are. So obviously, if you see a fish and it's kind of cloudy, I wasn't actually going to say, I'm going to go to the camera. Actually, my eyes,
a bit like people, really.
You can see it in the camera there, but they're actually, you can see the blue colouring around my eyes there. Do you ever see a fish that's cloudy around the eyeball? Step away. Has to be more clear. The eyes have to be more clear. I can't even see them. I better put these back on. But
need a sparkle in the eye. Okay, all right.
The clearer, the fresher, Carl.
Yep, very good. Thanks for the names of the cities. I have a Michelin map of Portugal, and I write these places down and look them up later. So Al-Viagra, I've put that in the comments as well, the Wikipedia entry for that for you. Looks fantastic, Owen. From Jeff. Looks yummy, Owen, from Big Boy Crypto Pants.
Thank you.
And it looks delicious. Fish from the OLP. Garvo, watch your fingers. What was he doing? Some chopping there. Yeah, you can watch out when Owen has his chopper in his hand. When a young lad many years ago, my grandmother taught me always chew very thoroughly whenever eating fish. Never had a bone splinter in my throat. So there you go. It's a mindfulness thing as well, isn't it? Avoiding the bones in fish. You can't just be, gobbling away, yamming it in and eating as quickly as possible. It can help you be a more mindful eater eating fish. If your tortillas are a little stale, oh, hold on, what's this? Chairman Mao.
And this is it's just a quick story for you that before I left the UK is that I used to help a neighbour with house clearances, and I did one or two. And I go on about the amount of cookery books I've got, and I've got a Mrs. Beaton's book of household management, big old book. But the regarding to all the 60 plus cookery books I have, I don't really look at them. But this is one of the things I do rely on. And this came from one of the properties from the house clearance that I did.
Genuine article.
Which is literally a recipe book, which somebody has done in the kitchen. Some old dear has done in the kitchen. So it's even got, where the mistakes have been made and they've rectified the recipe. Oh. And that's where my love of food really comes from. And I had to share this with you this morning because I collected a few of my belongings yesterday, and this popped up and reminded me why I cook. It's just the love and the attention that this particular person made for whichever recipes that are in here. And you can see all the adaptations that's been done over the years. And these are more, these are more precious to me than any Rick Stein, Gordon Ramsay, any books like that. These are the ones because it comes from a place of love.
That is before cooking blogs, isn't it?
Exactly that. And me doing things like this as well. But I think that, having books like that has brought me to where I am.
Yeah, amazing. What a lovely artifact that is. Garvo, did you want to add something to that?
I was just because going back to fish, I'm just wondering if you could use hake.
Hake could be brilliant.
Because I know you can get hake here. What it's called something else? Is it? Do you know what it's called?
We'll find out on that.
Espada.
And you can buy, if you're really stuck, you can buy hake frozen, can't you? As a wine.
I would thought hake is just as good because it's one of those fish that's very delicate, and it soaks up all the spices and the flavour. And I've just suddenly thought, eating this wrap, if anybody likes tandoori fish, although it is a slightly different flavour, this is perfect because it's just beautiful. It just soaks up every last bit of,
Superb. Okay, I swallowed it. This is the threepenny bit that got swallowed when Big Boy Crypto Pants was a kid. Had to sit on the toilet daily to wait for it to be released. My mother kept it for years. Aww. Okay, more comments as we conclude into the last 5 minutes there. Yeah, wishing we could smell Owen's cooking there. Thank you for the clarification from Raphael, who had something about if your tortillas are a little stale, a few drops of water in a hot oven go a long way. So there you go. That's how to reignite or put new life into old tortillas. Nom 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 yum. From Jandis there, enjoying from afar. Fish tacos. Ensenada, Mexico. I spent my 60th birthday there with my family. We ate hundreds of fish tacos, making me hungry. And Miss Mexico this morning. Is a sauce called sriracha available in Portugal? And are there ethnic shops in most big towns? Yes to that, or just really large places in Porto and Lisbon? Increasingly so, I think. Caldas has got some nice small ethnic shops. Sriracha, I don't know about, but there are all sorts of hot sauces, aren't there, Garvo, in the supermarket now?
Oh yeah, I mean it's not. I mean, think about Portugal. They were one of the first people there to start moving spices around the world, so they should have a good lead on it.
Good point.
And if you go to a big enough supermarket, they normally have a fair sort of array of spices and accoutrements, shall we say.
What's happening? Your microphone's rubbing a little bit against your throat, sir. So keep nice and still there. It's rubbing on your stubble. It's a very manly effect. There you go, sandpapering your own throat with your microphone there. Very flashy microphones as well. Very good. And Jasmine's here. Yummy. Thank you. Can't wait to try this recipe as well. Thanks for joining us this morning. And Andy's out and about. Bon dia. Walk, coffee, watching GMP. What more could a boy want? That's lovely. On Luis Pato territory there. Lots of hot sauces here. And in Porto, at least, there are several Asian markets. So probably Sriracha is there. Hot sauces we were talking about, Owen. You can get every level of hot sauce, even if it's not the brand you recognise, right, in Portugal?
You can, yeah. Loads of different varieties. I'm still awaiting for one of my friends in the UK to send me my favourite because I can't find it here, which is Encona. They've been doing for spices for years and years, but I've not seen that over here, so I'm waiting for that. But definitely the levels that are available in the majority of the supermarkets are really good. But myself, come the end of the summer, I shall make my own.
Ah, very good.
Now,
Yes.
It's reminded me of a story, right? Saying Enconia hot pepper sauce, right? I had the extra strong stuff because I had a dog that was chewing everything. And somebody said, use this stuff. You'll never chew it again.
That's right.
So there I smeared it on the table legs, along the skirting boards. It's yeah, he loved it. He absolutely adored it. No woodwork left on the bottom floor.
Yeah, Garvo, when can we have skirting board and table leg again for dinner? That was delicious. I never fished, but would love to see what that's all about. We'll bring my dogs for protection. I don't think we're going. We're not going shark fishing though. I think you can leave the dogs at home, but I'm sure they'll enjoy it as well. James has definitely been enjoying the boning and jerking again this morning. In the 70s, there was a show on the TV called The Galloping Gourmet. I think
Gordon Kerr. Graham Kerr.
Graham.
Yeah, because those people, I don't think they were really chefs or cooks, were they? They were just people who were willing to do it. So they had to just, a bit like Fanny Craddock. I'm not sure she was that good a cook, was she? She was just somebody you
could... two more different people, could you? Graham Kerr and Fanny Craddock. I mean, she was scary. She put old Johnny. I mean, what a life they must have had.
Yeah, watch it on YouTube, folks. Americans, Fanny Craddock. Puerto Vallarta for my friend's 50th birthday. I'll go to Portugal, come home for a bit, then off to Mexico. So people sharing their lovely memories of Mexico this morning. I do know fishing licenses can be obtained at the ATM. That's true. We do hear of this.
They can. What a price it is to fish here as well, Carl. It's really, really cheap.
Yeah.
Is it? Fantastic.
For your licenses, whether if it's sea or inland, it's really, really good.
Still making more wraps. I'm so hungry now.
This one's for Linda, actually. So this one's for Linda.
Enjoy it, Linda.
My way of thank you for using the kitchen and the studio here. And she's been presented with a bandana this morning.
Yeah, she has her own bandana.
Linda now has her own bandana as well.
I'll have to show her how to try it.
Fantastic. We'll need to watch later. Yeah, Mark, worth checking on that recipe and all the ingredients. We'll do a quick recap on that before we go. Fishing license, €12. Check that out. €1 a month to fish in Portugal. Sending positive vibes to Victoria on recovering a bag with all the cards. Thank you for that, Suze. Yeah, and don't forget, we have that PayPal address for anybody who would like to help with the whip round for Victoria. Let me just get that PayPal address one more time, and so that we can send a bit of cash over to Victoria until she gets herself sorted out and gets her cards back, etc., from the banks, because they've all had to be cancelled, of course, and she's no way of getting access for any money at the moment. So donations. I'm just typing this live in. Donations for Victoria. And that's via the reason you'll see Rachel is because Frank and Rachel are managing this on behalf of Victoria. Okay, so devtam01@gmail.com, the PayPal address that I'm putting into the chat now. Okay, I'm trying to find the rest of your comments as we conclude today. Talk of fish tacos. Actually, yeah, whilst I'm finding the last of these comments, fellas, can you quickly run through the ingredient list again, or roll that VT?
Yeah. The ingredients.
There you go. 4 dorado fillets, 4 tortilla wraps, 2 tomatoes, fish seasoning, 5 mils of sour cream, fresh coriander, 25 mils of mayonnaise, 2 limes, and salt and pepper to taste. There you go. All those. Thank you very much for that, Terence. All those oranges bring pancakes to mind. Yeah, what are you going to do with all that citrus you were given by your neighbour?
Well, I love oranges, so they're going to go. It wasn't any oranges. There's some persimmons in there as well, which are probably they are my favourites, and they're really ripe and juicy and
sweet. They are fantastic. Take the top off and eat it like a boiled egg, right? Beautiful.
Take my top off. I've never done that now.
Well, with those very soft fruits, get in the
That's
bath.
just Wednesday morning wrong.
It's just
Go on, do it.
Do it. Hey.
They don't want people throwing up everywhere.
There you go. Someone else remembering Graham Kerr. They don't remember his brother Wayne so much. I remember. I remember when TVs were first introduced into pubs. I had the same feeling, get distracted from talking to each other, but now it's normal. And sometimes a blessing, depending on who you're out with. The Portuguese keep the TV on at a wake. Now that's funny. And I'm going to ignore the comments. Although Alpha, I have to say, is truly beautiful, says Chris, the Great Dane. I have some travelling to make up for, hee. So we'll see you soon. OLP, say hi to Hank and Connie, Owen, please. I so enjoyed them when they were on the show. So yeah, love from all of us Gumpers to Hank and Connie. Bye, Gumpers. Great show. Good to see you live cooking, Owen and Garvo. And don't forget to feed your cameraman. He's been looked after, hasn't he? I think. Michelle. Thanks, Owen and Garvo. Thanks, guys. Excellent cooking demonstration. Love me some robalo. We didn't mention robalo, did we? What's that again? What's it called? What's the name? Sea bass.
I've been trying to figure out exactly what it is.
Sea bass.
It is sea bass. It is, and again, it's farmed, or it's like I think it's one of the difficult ones to farm, isn't it? So line caught. Look out for line caught on the labels in the supermarkets or at the market. I look at my eyes every morning over the sink, and now I know I'm a bad fish. Spoiled here in Oregon with fresh Dungeness crab and fresh caught salmon. Ooh, do you have crabs in Owen? Do you have crab in? Do you have crab in Portugal?
I'm sure there are crabs available. I've not come across them. Maybe if I go to stop it.
For me.
If I go to the market of Figueira de Foz, I'm sure I'll be seeing them there.
We get crabs.
Certainly, I'm sure I've not seen them.
Yeah, I was with my mum, who's a great cook, and they had those little crabs, smaller than your hand, and I think you need to eat a lot of them. And I said to them, "How would you do those, Mum?" She said, "You just cook them." It's like, well, thanks, Mum. And often, if you notice this, Owen, good cooks are like that. They can't tell you how to do it.
No,
they just do
it. I've had over past 3 years when I've cooked for people and they've asked me for particular recipes of things that I've cooked for them, and I haven't responded, and I do apologize for that, but rather than me send you the recipe, let me just come and cook it for you.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Show me, don't tell me. Thanks, Carl, for the info on what to look out for at the fish market. Aquacultura, for the farmed fish, absolutely. And Sriracha can be found in some supermarkets, so good news there. And Intermarché has about 800 choices on spicy and other sauces. You'll see James Holly standing in front of there for half an hour trying to pick one. If only tapatio sauce were available here. Only a matter of time, I think, with all of these things. True about the hot sauces at the Intermarché there, James. Outstanding, Gary and Owen. What a delicious dish. Good food and good company, Carl. Great start for the day. Glad you enjoyed it, Fiona and Simon. There are lots of crabs in Portugal, OLP. Local species different from the Pacific ones. Atlantic crabs, of course. It's going to be different, isn't it, to a warmer water crab? I love pick pepper sauce from Jamaica, several flavors. Donations Victoria there. devtam01@gmail.com. And while you've got PayPal open, one more time, please, Owen, for your PayPal address if you want to buy Owen a drink.
PayPal me. Owen's Food Alchemy.
All right. So it could take a while. We do need to help Owen and Victoria. Waiting for my Portuguese bank card still week 2 already. So hopefully she'll get hers quicker than that and we can get her back in to civilization. I swallowed the milkman's change when I was a kid. Mum said I was like a fruit machine, honking it up all at the bottom of the gun. Why do children do this? Why, fair enough, Andy, swallowing one coin and discovering it wasn't the most pleasant thing to do. But it sounds like you took all the threepenny bits, sixpences and eightpennies there. Oh, dear. Never did you any harm, though, did it? PayPal has been a pain for me here in the States. It wants bank statements and driving license, so I'll have to find a less invasive way to send money. Any ideas? Yes, Revolut or Multibanco. Loads of ways now, aren't there, of sharing money? Apple, Google, all of them, I think, all peer-to-peer money sharing systems. Just a matter of taking the step. Loving Portugal, that sounds like PayPal, maybe a fake. That doesn't sound like PayPal. Maybe okay. I think they have become more stringent. PayPal, to be fair. Make an orange liqueur. David says, Dave there for the oranges, and certainly with the glut of citrus, it's a great idea. My food just arrived. All your fault. That was awesome. Thanks, gents. And have a wonderful Wednesday, gang. Hugs to Victoria. Okay, we're concluding now. We're feeling that energy, aren't we, of disappearing off now and going off to enjoy Portugal. Guess what? Andy is still waiting for his SNS number. No, it is PayPal. Ask Jenny B. Rebel Mama. Yeah, people do end up in horrible PayPal cul-de-sacs. Okay, so see you guys off to get my antigen test. Good luck for that. Have a great flight. Bon voyage to you. Bon dia from Rebel Mama. Bon dia peeps at the Amania. Is this going to be a regular third Wednesday thing, guys? That's what I need to ask you, because obviously people want to do this.
If you want me here, I will be here.
We can try and arrange that.
And if not a live cooking demo, then let's talk about food, shall we, on the third Wednesday of every month. Ask anything about Portuguese food. Let's get Owen back, and hopefully with the production skills of the amazing Austin brothers in Al-Viagra. Great job today.
The man on the control desk over here to come and take it down. He's done sterling work again.
Out you come.
The man himself, the man behind the console, pressing the buttons in a very professional way.
And just giving it the old 3, 2, 1 count, like
and here he is now.
Oh, what have you been up to?
Get off that box.
Terence Austin there, Renaissance man, who you'll know from before. We've read his podcasts and articles. An amazing artist and photographer, terenceaustin.com. Look him up. Great job, guys. We will see you soon. Fantastic job. See you the third Wednesday of next month, and have a great Wednesday. And we'll see everybody again tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now.